Hi guys, it's Carol. How are ya? I'm okay. I'm finally gonna show you how I make Posole. Here, Toby. Um, I got this recipe from an Hispanic woman, and this is how her family had made Posole. Posole is a comfort food in New Mexico, and the traditional true Posole recipes include red chili pepper, pepper powder, and garlic, and pork, and hominy. Those are the main traditional ingredients. Although some people make it with chicken and some people make it with goat meat. Some people make it green instead of red. Like you can have enchiladas, either red enchiladas or green enchiladas. And some people, and then you can order Christmas, which is red and green. It's the dried red chili peppers powder or diced green roasted green chilies. It's what makes it red or green. And it's the green chilies that are dried and turn red. So it's really the same thing. But anyway, as I was making it and telling you about it, I thought, man, this is a lot of garlic salt I'm putting in here. And so I Googled New Mexico Posole to see what other recipes I came up with. Because I remember seeing a recipe in New Mexico magazine that sounded really good. And it had a lot of garlic in it and a lot of chili powder. In fact, I know one recipe I saw had a fourth a cup of the dried red chili powder, which is more than I put in, and it went in with only two 15-ounce cans of hominy, and I had that 6-pound can. When you cook your pork, you're supposed to save that broth and add that broth to your Posole. I don't like the smell of the broth, and so I don't use that, but you can also add chicken broth if you want. If you think it's too thick. It's supposed to be thick like a stew, but you can add water or chicken broth or something to make it thinner if you want. But anyway, I've eaten Posole like that forever, and it didn't dawn on me that, maybe most people don't eat something that's this full of chili powder. And I only realized that because I Googled other recipes to see how my recipe compared, that lady gave us at the cooking class, how it compared with recipes like on Taste of Home, All Recipes. You know, there's a gazillion sites where you can look up recipes online. And the first one I looked at was pretty similar to mine. And oh my gosh, and the reviews, people were saying that has to be a typo, that much garlic in it, or that much salt, or that much chili powder. They were all saying that cannot be right. So I'm showing you this. Unless you're used to eating a lot of chili pepper, chili powder, you may not want to make it. But Google New Mexico Posole and see if you find a recipe that sounds like something you would like. I mean, my family loves this. In fact, Casey just left to go to her dad's house, and she was taking a huge bowl to her dad and stepmom, and all of my kids love it. Anyway, here comes how I make Posole. I'm always afraid I'm going to give you a recipe, and then you're going to try, and you're going to say, what was she thinking? This is nasty. All right, guys. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Hi guys, this is Carol. How you doing? I decided I'm joining the living again. I'm finally doing that Posole. It had to wait on me to get to feeling better. But anyway, I've cooked the pork roast in a crock pot with a little bit, you were supposed to put a little bit of chicken broth in it. We put water because I'm not going to use that broth anyway, although you're supposed to. Anyway, the pork roast is cooked and shredded, and now I'm going to get the spices ready to make the posole. You put a little bit of Crisco in your pan, and we're going to fry the chili powder just to, it's supposed to release some flavor that way. And then after I get that fried, I'm going to put in my 6 cans of tomato sauce, and I'm going to add oregano and garlic salt, stir that all up, and then add the posole. Hang on. I didn't have enough Crisco in there. I had to add some more. We always have posole at Christmas. My IBS has gotten a lot worse since last Christmas. I don't know how it's going to work with posole, but I hope fine because I love this stuff. And this is what we do at Christmas. That's a New Mexico thing, is to have posole and tamales for Christmas. Okay, now I'm frying up my chili powder. I put half of this package. This is a 2-ounce package. I put in half of it in there. I didn't measure it out. I just guessed how much was half because we need 1 ounce. And I'm just going to check on this. Okay, I'm going to stop and add my tomato sauce. I'll be right back. Ready? Okay. I'm adding my tomato sauce. Where I got this recipe was, I grew up in a little town in New Mexico. There was a lady that did a cooking class, a Mexican food cooking class, and I took that class from her. In this little town where I lived, especially Hispanic families, if they needed money for something like a wedding or quinceanera or something coming up, they would make tamales in their home and sell them. And or this lady would have a cooking class. And that is how I learned to make this posole. Casey was about 2 years old when I took that class. So, how old are you now?
39.
So, for 37 years, we've had this for Christmas. And during the year, too. When my kids were all home, I made it pretty often in the winter because my youngest little boy loved it. I mean, he started eating this right after baby food, even though it's so spicy. He just loved this stuff. Okay, I've already put in my oregano. Now, you're going to think this is a lot, but you put in 3 teaspoons of oregano, and this is really going to surprise you, but you put in 2 tablespoons of garlic salt. I know that's a lot of salt, but I don't eat this every day. But anyway, can you see the color? Okay, let me get that all, make sure I don't have any chunks of spice anywhere, and then I'm going to add the hominy with the liquid and everything, and let it simmer for quite a while. Normally, I would put this in a crock pot and let it, I would do all of this, but I would put this, the hominy, and the meat in the crock pot and let it cook on low for a couple of hours, just so all the spices can marry and the flavor be really good. This is one of those things that's better the next day, even. Okay, turned off. Hey, this is pretty full. Don't know if I'm going to have room enough to put the meat in here. Like I said, I usually do this part in the crock pot. I'll divide this between 2 pans. Whoa, I made a mess. Casey reminded me that when Trey was 2, his 3rd birthday was coming up, and I was asking him what he wanted for his birthday. I meant toys, or what kind of present he wanted for his birthday. But when we asked him what you want for your birthday, he would just say posole. So he started eating this when he was really young. I am just, look down here, Casey, I am making a big mess, but oh well. I'm going to divide this between another pot and put the shredded pork roast in there, let it simmer, and it will be done, and it will be delicious. I hope you try it sometime. Bye. One more thing. Casey shredded the pork roast for me and got all the fat off. I do not put fat in my mouth, so there will be no fat in here. I just can't stand that. And when I'm ready to put this in the refrigerator, I'm going to measure it out in a bowl with, I'm going to use my ladle, fill a bowl like I would think would be one serving, and then I'm going to keep doing that and count the number of servings. So I'll let you know what it costs per serving. Okay, bye. Wait, I'll put that at the end. I'm not really saying bye. Guys, I filled this bowl pretty full. That may be 2 servings to some people, but I really like it. But anyway, that recipe made 14 bowls as full as this one. I measured it out with this ladle. So I got 14 servings. I'll figure out what each serving cost. When I was looking up recipes online to see how they compared to the one that this lady had given us, I noticed I never found another recipe that had tomato sauce in it. It is just red from the chili powder. I didn't find another recipe at all that had tomato sauce in it. And traditionally, you buy frozen posole, and you have to cook that in lieu of hominy. Posole is hominy, but canned hominy has been processed. And the frozen kind you can buy in a bag, at least in New Mexico, is great big kernels of corn, maize is what it is, and it's frozen. You put that in a pot of water and boil it like for an hour and a half until it blooms, like popcorn kernels bloom open. Well, these kernels will bloom open, and the outer shell comes off. There, Toby. And my pile of laundry in the back. Anyway, you can do that. That takes a long time to cook that raw hominy, so I just use canned hominy. It's much easier and quicker. And then most people eat some things on top of their posole. I just eat posole and crackers, but traditionally people slice radishes and put on top. I don't like radishes. I can't even imagine that. Casey likes it with sliced raw cabbage on top. That's another traditional topping. A lot of people put diced onion on top. But then a lot of the other recipes had onion cooked in it, and I don't put onion in mine. I'm going to have to try that sometime. You could put cheese, grated cheese on top. You could, another traditional way to eat it is with warm flour tortillas or warm corn tortillas to dip into it, or with tortilla chips, or with cornbread. So that's how you eat pozole in New Mexico. All right, guys, I'm feeling better. I'm going to try to make a happy video tomorrow. I haven't answered comments yet, but I'm going to sit down and start answering comments right now. I love your comments. Don't not leave one because I've not answered you. I love reading them. Please leave me a comment. Tell me what you're thinking. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hope you're having a great day. See ya.